Hello everyone, welcome to the video lecture series of Cryptography and Network Security. I am your instructor Dr. Ramesh Prajapati, and today we are going to learn the distribution of the public keys. So the first, let's see the agendas of this video lecture. The first agenda, the distribution of public keys. Second, X.509 certificates. So let's start the first topic, the distribution of public keys. Right, so before going to start the distribution of public key, we have seen we deliver the two types of key. The first, the secret key, and the second, the public key and the private key. So the public key which is used in a symmetric encryption, and the same in symmetric encryption the same key is used for the encryption and the decryption. The public key and private key both are used in a asymmetric encryption, and the asymmetric encryption means we use two key for the encryption and the decryption of the message. The secret key should be sent to the receiver, transferred to the receiver by the sender. How the key will be distributed among the different users? The question is how the key will be distributed to the different user. That means how to distribute the key between the sender and the user, the sender and the receiver. So we have seen the symmetric encryption. In symmetric encryption, we have used a two technique, and in that scenario, we distribute the key among the different users in the network. How the public key will be distributed among the different users. So in several techniques have been proposed for the distribution of the public key. It means the several techniques are there to distribute the public key to the different among the different users in the network. So now the public key are made public by design. Means as you know, there are two type of key: public key and the private key. Now private key it is not shareable. It means the private key must be private, and the public key will be distributed among the different users. So how this public key is distributed among all the users in the network? Now my question, how this public key is distributed among all the users in the network, right? Because in all this previous session we have used the public key, right? And means that we have to use the key for encryption and the decryption, and the encryption is done by the sender side and the decryption is done by the receiver. The issue over here, how to ensure the public key of A actually belongs to A. There are various approaches for distributing the public key. How many ways we can distribute the public key among all the different users in the network? So there are total four approaches for distributing the public key. The first, public key announcement. Second, publicly available directory. Third, public key authority, and the fourth is a public key certificate. So let's see the first, the public announcement. Now in the public announcement, all the users will be announced the public key to different user in the network. And you can see in this figure the user A, there are two users, user A and user B. So if user A want to communicate with user B, so before going to start the communication, it share the key. Means user A will share the public key to user B, and user B is share their public key to user A. In this public announcement scenario, user A will announce their public key to all other users in the network. Same user B. Now user B also announce their public key to all different user in the network. Here, so some examples like the newspaper. Newspaper is a public announcement. Same thing, your email address, your signature, the website, and the conference. These are the public, right? These are the public because it is this newspaper will be available for all the user in the network or in the internet. Same thing, email is also used the many people's. Same thing, all the websites should be public because any user can access the any website, right? So these all are the example of a public announcement, but there is a one limitation of public key announcement. It means the anyone can announce a key pretending to be another user. Anyone can distribute the key to different users. The attacker can easily capture the key, right? So this is the one limitation of the public key announcement. So we overcome this limitation. We will use the second technique or second method of public key is a publicly available directory. Now, in a public available directory, we can consider the one public key directory. The public key directory, it should be stored. It is a one place to store the all the public key of different users. It means the authority maintains the directory. It means here the public key directory, it maintained by authority of one authority, and in this directory it should be included the name and the public key entry for each participant. If user A want to communicate with user B, so the first user A will send their public key to public key directory. Same user B also share their public key to public key directory. Now the public key directory, any user can access the any key from the public key directory. Now each participant is, it means the how many numbers, how many users are there in the network. All the users should register their public key with the public key directory. Now here, if A want to modify the public key and automatically updated in the public key directory, so B modifies the public key and it automatically updated in a public key directory. So here A participate may replace the existing key with a new at any time, right? Then the participant could also access the directory electronically. It means for this purpose it is secure. We have to check this the message should be secure and authenticated communication from the authority to participate is a mandatory. It means that the participant could also access the directory electronically. So the first, if any user want to access this public key directory, so first of all he authenticate their name and the key to public key directory. Now after verification it access the public key directory. Now any new user add in this add in a network though, so first it must be registered their public key to public key directory. Now this is, now we can say public available directory. This is all about the public available directory, and here again the lack of the security, the lack of the security. It means again the some limitation of publicly available directory. Now here any attacker can capture the key because the public key directory, it means it is the public for all the users. It means any user can access the key to key from the public key directory. Now next technique is the publicly available directory. Publicly available directory. So in this scenario you can see there are two users, user A and user B, and user A want to communicate with user B. So the first user, it means user A want to get the public key of user B. So the first user A will send the request to public key authority with the timestamp. Same for user B. User B want to communicate with user A. So the first user B will send the request to public key authority with the timestamp. We have already seen the KDC, key distribution center. The same functionality provided by the public key authority. And the public key authority, it is a trusted third party. Public key authority is called the trusted third party. It means it is the trusted person who can manage or who can distribute the key between the different users. Now, in the second step, the public key authority will send the message to user A, and in this message is encrypted using the private key of authority. And in that message the public key will be there. Then the message is requested by user A, means the request and the timestamp. And here timestamp will represent when the message has been generated. It means timestamp is used to identify the recent message has been sent by the sender. So in this message, public key authorities encrypted the message and sent to the user A. And on that, in this message, the message is encrypted using the private key of authority, and in this message is also included the request appended with the T1 and the public key. Now, in the third step, here we have to ensure, okay, user A want to ensure the message the message is sent by the public key authority or not. So here user A verify here the public key authority is use the his private key. So it means the message which was received by any user, it identify the message is sent, the coming message is sent only by a public key authority, because the public key authority is use the private key for encryption, and the private key is not shareable, right? So private key is known by only that person. Now the user A send the identity of user A and the nonce and one using the public key of user B to user B. That means user A is send the encrypted message to user B, and in that encrypted message it included the identity of user A, nonce one, public key of user B, and is sent to the user B. Now the same. Now if user B want to communicate with user A, so the first send the request to public key authority. Now user B send the request to public key authority with the timestamp 2. Now the fourth step. Now in the fifth step, user B receive the requested message by user B. Public key of user A is encrypted using the public key or private key of public key authority, and it's sent as a reply to the user B. Now in the step 6, the user B send the message to user A, and in that message the user B is included the nonce and 2 and the public key of user A. It means that E represent the encryption, PUA represent the public key of user A, N1 nonce, N2 is also nonce, and N2 is appended by the user B. Now, user A acknowledges to user B, with the N2 nonce and the public key of user B. Now the communication is established. So this is all about the publicly available directory. Now let's see the step. Here you can see the first step, A send a timestamp message to the public key authority. We already discussed this point, right? Then and containing a request for the current public key of user B, because user A want to communicate with user B. So the first user A send the request to the send the request to the public key authority with the timestamp T1. Now in the second step, authority respond with the message that is encrypted using the authority private key. It means the reply message sent by the authority, and the message should be encrypted using the authority private key. And the message contains the PUB, so public key of user B. PUB represents the public key of user B, original request, and the request. This request is already the request message is by user A, and the original timestamp T1. Now in the third step, right, we have seen that is the first step is requested by user A, and the public key authority is replied to user B, and the message will be encrypted by user by authority's private key. PRAUTL, it represents the private key of authority, and in that message the public key of user B and the requested message is appended, and now it's sent to the user A. Now the third step, A store the B's public key and also use it encrypt the message. It means A store the B's public key and also use it encrypt a message to B containing an identifier of ID A, identifier user A, and the nonce N1. It means now user A send the public key of user A, and ID A, identity of user A, and the nonce. Now the step number 4 and 5, B retrieve the A's public key from the authority in the same manner as A retrieve B's public key. It means if user B want to communicate with user A, so the same process will be repeated by user B, which is done by user A. Means B retrieves the A's public key from the authority. It means the B send the request to the public key authority with the timestamp 2, and in the reply message the public key authority will be sent the public key of user A. Now you can see in this figure, now user A, in third step user A send the encrypted message to user B, and in that message the identity of user A N1 nonce, it appended with the, it means ID A N1 nonce is encrypted the public key of user B and is sent to the user B. Now user B want to communicate with user A, so the first user B send the request to public key authority with the timestamp T1. Now the public key authority will send the encrypted message to user B, and step number 5. In step number 5, it replied by the public key authority, and in that message the request is appended with T2, and the public key of user A is appended with the message, and this whole message is encrypted using the private key authority. Now in step number 6 and 7, you can see in step number 6, B send a message to A. That means the B send a message to A encrypted with the public key A and containing A's nonce N1 as well as the new nonce generated by B N2, and present N1 in the message 6 ensure A that the correspondent is B. Now in the step number 7, A returned N2 which is encrypted using the B is public key to ensure the B that is correspondent is A. It means, let's see in this scenario, in step number 6 and 7 you can see. Yeah, in step number 6 you can see step number 6, user B send the encrypted message along with the newly generated N2 nonce to user A, and this message is encrypted using the public key of user A. The B encrypted the message using the public key of A and it's appended with the N1 and N2 nonce. Now it means here the user B acknowledges that, okay, I am the user B and I want to communicate with user A. Now in a step number 7, again the user A is acknowledged to B and the user A send the N2 nonce which is generated by the newly generated by the user B, N2 nonce, and it is encrypted using the public key and is sent to the user B. It means user A and B. User A is a correct person, user B is also the correct person. Now it communicate with each other. So this is the simple technique of publicly available directory. Now I hope you clear this idea, right? The next is a step, next technique, fourth number technique, the public key certificate. Public key certificate. It means here the public key certificate is certificate authority will be issue the certificate to all the users in the network. Now here and in this public key, how the certificate will be generated, right? The certificate will be generated by the certificate authority. Now here any participant can read a certificate to determine the name and the public key of the certificate owner. It means what will be included in the certificate? In the certificate, the identity of user A and the public key of user will be included. Now any participant can verify that certificate originated from the certificate authority and is not a counterfeit. Now only the certificate authority can create and update the certificate. In this, now you can see in this figure there are two users, user A and user B, and the certificate authority. And certificate authority is also called the trusted third party. Now user A want to generate the certificate and same thing user B want to generate the certificate. So the first user A will send the public key to certificate authority. Now the certificate authority will issue the certificate to user A. The certificate authority send the message to user A, and in that message it included CA, certificate of user A, equal to it encrypted using the private key of authority, and in this message it included the IDA, user identity A, public key of user A, and the T1 timestamp. Now same for B. B is send his public key to user B. User B send the user B will send the public key to certificate authority, and certificate authority will send the one message to user B, and in that message it included the T2 ID B, it is the identity of user B and the public key of user B, and whole message encrypted using the private key of authority. Now user initiator A means user A send their certificate to user B for verification. Same user B will sending their certificate to user A for verification. Now you can see each participant applies to certificate authority. It means if any user want to get the certificate, so first each participant apply to the certificate authority, supply public key and requesting a certificate. It means the certificate will send to each other and authenticate to each other. Now, for participant A, we have seen the participant A, the authority provides the certificate of form of. Now, the certificate will be in the form of encrypted. The certificate will be in encrypted form, and the whole message is encrypted using the PER authority, means the private key of authority. And in this message, it included the ID A, identity of user A, and the public key of user A. Right? Same. Now you can see here, right? We have already discussed. User A will send the public key to certificate authority, and certificate authority will send the certificate to user A, and the certificate will form in the certificate in the form of encrypted message. Now the same for B. If user B want the certificate, so user B will send their public key to certificate authority. Now it send the certificate to user B. Now I already told you, if now the verify the certificate. So how the certificate will verify? So user A will sending their certificate to user B for verification. Same, user B will sending their certificate to user A for verification. If user A will sending their certificate to user B, so user B will decrypt the certificate. So here the decryption D of PU authority, comma CA. it means the certificate of user A, and the message is included timestamp, ID A, and the PU A. It verify the certificate. User A sent the certificate to any other user for verification. So here it decrypt any other person decrypt the message. It means CA. It means the certificate of user A is encrypted using the public key authority. Because public key authority will be known by all the users in the network because it is public. Now in the CA, instead of CA we have mentioned the whole form of CA. Now it decrypt the message. Now you will get the certificate. Now I hope you clear this idea. So this is all about the public key distribution. Thank you.